This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 123 of the Healthy Critters Radio on the Horse Radio Network. Healthy Critters Radio is brought to you by BioStar US. Find them online at biostarus.com.
On today's show, we discuss the art of lunging horses. Patapedia focuses on foster animals. Critter Nutrition, we share excerpts from a book on horse management published in 1850. And our holiday-themed coffee clutch comes after that. Listen in. I'm Tigger.
And I'm Patty.
And I'm Coach Jen, producer of this here circus, and welcome back to Healthy Critters Radio, where we get to geek out on all things healthy critters. Critters are people, chickens, lizards, whatever. Healthy, physically, healthy, mentally. So thanks for joining the fun. And one of the considerable mental health challenges that most folks have this time of year, we're recording this show in December, is decorating for the holidays. It can cause a little bit of stress. Yes. So we're going to chat a little bit about that, aren't we, Patty?
Yes, we are. So my question to you girls is, when do you start doing any decorating, if at all? What about you, Tigger?
I do a virtual Christmas tree.
What's a virtual Christmas tree?
What does that mean? Boy, I want to sign up for that. I don't know what it means.
No, I imagine a tree in my living room.
You do an imaginative Christmas tree.
I don't really think that's virtual. I think that's called something else. but I want to know what that tree looks like in your head. I love it.
Well, the cool thing is that it changes.
You can change it as often as you like.
As often as you like. And you don't have to pack anything away, and you don't have to take anything out of boxes. Yeah. So generally it's a live tree, and it's strung with popcorn and cranberries and homemade cookies, no tinsel or anything. But my other one is actually laden with snow. And there's little birds flitting around in it, and cardinals.
I don't know why this has made me think of that scene from Cinderella when they're doing the tree. Do the birds and the mice talk to you?
Only my psychiatrist knows for sure.
I was going to say, it's just a question. There's no judgment here, and I'm going to write this down. Oh, that's fun.
Oh my gosh.
How about you, Jen?
Well, generally speaking, we do an artificial tree because Glenn is allergic to pine. And Glenn likes to put the Christmas decorations up the moment Thanksgiving dinner is done being consumed.
Whoa.
And in Glenn's world, the New Year's Day, it needs to all come back down again.
Aha.
That's funny.
But this year we are going to have abbreviated decorations because there is an 18-month-old greyhound in the home.
Yes.
And as we record this episode, I'm looking at the blinds in my office.
Uh-oh.
And the blinds in my office are in about 150,000 little pieces.
Because she jumped on them and scratched at them.
She had a good time with the blinds. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Can you say dental floss?
She was biting the blind.
I think she used them for dental floss today. So so we have some Christmas lights strewn up high where she can't get to them. And Glenn put a really cute little itsy bitsy tabletop tree in his office because he would go through some significant depression if he didn't have some kind of a tree. So we altered things just a little bit this season, and we're gonna go with that. But I like your idea, and you know something, the whole Yule log channel on your TV. I'm sorry, but it's awesome.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
like it.
I
at
love it.
all.
We don't have a
You
fireplace.
do?
We don't have a
Oh.
fireplace. We can't have a fireplace. So
Of
I'm
course.
loving the Yule log.
Understand that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
We actually
Yeah.
have a real fireplace that burns real wood.
See, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. Not all of us have that kind of luxury.
Understand. Of course, you're not living in
Yeah.
a cold climate.
Well, yeah. Even if we
they're
had a
also-
fireplace, 2 days a year it would get chilly enough to actually draw the smoke up the chimney. So,
Yeah. But
Yeah.
those two.
How about
days-
you, Patty P?
Well, it's funny because I feel like Glenn and I are tearing a page out of the same book. We do the same thing. My tree went up either the day of Thanksgiving or the day after, and that sort of came about when the girls went to college because they would come home and they knew that I would not put the tree up unless they would do it.
I like where you're going with that.
So yeah. So now it's Ray's responsibility, which he has for I don't know how many the last however many years. Bless his heart, he just decorates the tree himself, and I just sit there and listen to Christmas music and watch him do it.
Awesome.
I may have some holiday spirits when I'm doing that, but then we
That's important.
yeah I don't know that I'll wait till New Year's. See, the thing I did when the kids were little, because both Hannah and Ray's birthdays are like January 2nd and the 4th. So they really liked having the tree, that time of year. But I get very ready for it to come down, soon after Christmas. So Glenn and I are kind of on the same page, but it's nice because where I am, it is cold. I've had probably 5 or 6 fires already, which is great. And with those stockings hanging on the side, I mean, I love that. I love that. But I do think the virtual thing, I don't know.
Awesome.
Even if you could get one that you could like shine on a wall. Think about that. Like
Yeah, one of those
projector.
little projector ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could be a really good thing too. And you
I'm
could
gonna
change
look
it
into
just like
that
you're
now that
saying,
you say
Tigger.
that.
Yeah.
Well, I love
mean-
changing it. I think that's
Yeah,
really fun.
So yeah, so that's what we do. So, but it's always fun. Like right after Thanksgiving, you start to get in the feeling of 'tis the season and get the tree up and Christmas music, and then the 25 days of Christmas. Who doesn't watch that? I mean, I watch.
I have
And I have
some
my
of my special. I mean, there are some in there that I don't watch because I don't really care for them. But
Yeah.
the real classic animated
Oh, Rudolph.
Yeah, and
Everybody waits for Rudolph, and then the
year Santa Claus,
Yep.
whatever that, the year without
Yeah.
a Santa Claus, and
Yes.
love
And then
those ones.
And then when Earl Ives is the snowman. I
Yes.
forget which one but I love that one.
And of course, Charlie Brown.
Yes. Yeah. So
There we
So
go.
my question to you, ladies, is when do you start and when do you finish your Christmas shopping?
Christmas Eve and then Christmas Eve night.
There you go. Uh-huh.
And we celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve. So it's a tight day for me.
Yeah.
It's a tight day.
1 p.m. to 9 p.m. on December 24th.
Yeah.
That's when ours happens.
When do
We're
you do your
terrible.
shopping, Jen?
What's that?
You do your Christmas shopping on December 24th?
Yeah, and it's usually on Amazon gift card. Send.
Yeah.
We've lived hours and hours and hours and hours and hours away from our family for so long now that we very rarely get back for Christmas. So we've really gotten good at gifts that can be emailed.
Mm.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's our most common. Every once in a while, we'll figure out something that we can put in a box, or we just get it on Amazon or some other Etsy. Oh my gosh, Etsy is awesome.
Oh, Etsy's awesome.
Because they will send it to whoever you want.
Yep.
So we love Etsy.
Amazon, yeah. No, that's been our biggest thing since the kids are in different states. We do the same thing, send stuff and that way. But Etsy is great. Etsy is so great. Oh my gosh, they have so many cute little things. Like all of my kids have dogs, so I had all the dogs' names made into a Christmas ornament.
Oh,
It was just the best. Even when I didn't spell them correctly, they turned out really well.
As long as they look good. Dogs can't spell.
now I start Christmas shopping in February,
I know you do.
and I'm
Yeah.
done by October.
Yeah, you're amazing at that.
And Etsy I love, but I have found a whole new source of fun. Yes, Kickstarter.
Oh.
Never would not have thought of going there.
You know what it is? It's a platform for entrepreneurs, very small new companies with great ideas.
Yep.
And it has been the source of so much fun because, first of all, you're helping a small company. And some of these companies have really cool ideas.
Cool.
Yeah, I got this air filter. I gave it to myself. And it's connected by your smartphone. It's freaking amazing. It tells you what level of contaminants are in your air, and then it amps itself up if you've got extra contaminants.
It's a smart air filter. How cool is
Oh,
that?
it's so cool.
Yeah, cool.
It's so cool. So a lot of my Christmas shopping this year, the only problem with Kickstarter is if you have to really read the fine print about when they expect delivery.
Yes.
And during COVID, that's been a nightmare because things that were supposed to arrive here in September aren't arriving, won't be here till next year, because there's problems in the supply chain. But if you're looking for really unique things, Kickstarter, it's sort of it's an Etsy that's
it's for startups, really.
It's for startups.
Yeah. We over on the Horses in the Morning show, we love to find equestrian or horse related Kickstarters and have the people come on and talk about them. And we found some really fascinating ones. Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing what people.
And then there's some you go, really?
Yeah. There's a lot of games on Kickstarter.
Like board games?
There's board games
wow.
and
people still invent board games.
Huh. There's one from Peru that's really interesting. You move the llamas around the board.
That's funny.
I thought that, and they're
gosh,
adorable too. They have little scarves on.
Oh my gosh, I want that just so I can have llamas to move around a board.
Yes.
Oh, that is so funny.
Okay, llamas. Have we done llamas on the Breed of the Show yet?
No, but I think that needs to Patty.
No, but I think that.
Well, you know what we need to do? We need to find that person who invented that game and say, hey, we need to have somebody on who knows a lot about llamas. Find someone for us.
And get them in the right time zone.
Yes, and have them come on the show and tell us all about llamas. Inquiring minds need to know.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, there we go. Your holiday chat.
Yes. But moving on to sort of the meat of the show, we're going to talk about lunging.
There we go. Going around in circles for a different reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
What prompted lunging? When, where, and why? What was the catalyst, Tigger?
The catalyst was a phone call.
Aha.
From a customer who has a hunter, and the groom has to lunge it for 45 minutes every day before she can get on. And I just thought, lunging. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's up there with shoes or no shoes and bits versus bridles, bridle bitless. Okay, this will be fun.
Yeah.
So the roundtable discussion today is the art of lunging, and I'm hearkening back to the dulcet tones of a certain Australian shepherd to something that a veterinarian that Patty and I dearly love and respect, Dr. Tim Ober. And he said it was really not a good thing to do. And I said, why, Tim? And he said, just keeping a horse on a circle all the time is not in their best health. They need to go straight. They shouldn't always be turning in a circle. So when you think about how a horse moves on a circle, obviously the inside legs are going to take a little bit more than the outside legs. And I think that was the point he was trying to make. Did he ever say that to you, Patty?
No, he actually didn't. I'm raising a brow. That's interesting.
I think there are lots of benefits to lunging when used judiciously.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think, lunging in a Pessoa rig makes so much sense because you're actually asking the horse to work in a specific way. And I think what Tim's point was that when you see people that just have the halter on the horse and a lunge line and they're just running around in a circle, that's probably less productive, even though it feels like that's a way to get rid of their energy. So what are your thoughts on lunging? Because I think judicious use of lunging is really important in building horse, building their self-carriage and teaching them certain things like piaffe and passage when you have a little bit more control over them, and transitions without a rider on them.
Yeah. I mean, I am a big advocate for lunging, but completely with you. You have to have a plan. Like, I don't want to lunge just to lunge. What I do in my, weekly training is that if I have a younger horse, for example, I have a forthcoming 5-year-old, and until I really knew his reactions to stuff, every Monday I would lunge for maybe at most 10 minutes each way, just to make sure that I was giving him an opportunity to get like the tactile part of his brain working, if he was going to be silly or react to stuff, to get an idea of where he was or is. And eventually I eliminate it and don't use it. But also I feel like it gives the horse an opportunity. They do want to be a little silly or crack their back a little bit. You want them to express themselves, but also do it within a reasonable, amount of exhilaration. And I also will do that with a young horse. If I'm going to a horse show, I always lunge them before I get on them there, because I just feel like it burns off some steam. It does. But all of these times that I do this, I always have them in either side reins or Pessoa or something like that. So I feel like there's definitely a very specific use for it. But, there's times where, I very, very rarely ever just put a horse on a halter unless I'm doing a lameness exam without having them work over their back. To me, it's an outlet for them to show you where they are in their mind and their body. I don't, I very rarely will do upper level horses unless I'm doing double line lunge lining, with double reins, or I'm going to, bridge that to doing some long lining. But I'm a very big advocate of it, especially if you're introducing something new, or if you want a horse to just, like I said, kind of get an idea of where they are mentally to come, to be with you, is generally when I use it. How about you, Jen?
I lunge lines, long lines. I only use it for training purposes. I never use lunging as a way to let a horse blow off steam. It's just something I never do. Occasionally, I would let a horse let him loose in the round pen to blow off some steam, but it was one of those things that it's like being under attack for me. If you're on a lunge line, it's no different than me sitting on your back, and I'm sorry, but bucking's not allowed. Now, that being said, if I put Nigel on a lunge line and he hasn't been ridden in 10 days, there's going to be a buck or two. But
yeah.
But it's not a case of, go ahead and just do that. It's like, oh my God, hold on tight. Got to shut that down.
Yeah.
But I also live in a very different world than you do. My horse lives outside 24/7. He's basically a pleasure horse. You know, I go to shows once in a while for funs and giggles and stuff like that. He's really got no excuse to have to blow off steam. He's out 24/7.
Yeah.
Versus a show horse or a competition horse who spends at least 12 hours a day in a stall. He's either going to be in all day or in all night at the very least when you're a show horse. They need to have that physical and mental outlet, be able to go out and kick up their heels and goof off a little bit. But when you're a fit show horse, being able to do that out on your own can get a little dicey. You know, a lot of times you don't have a place to do it. If you're at a showgrounds, there's nowhere to put them out where they can run and play. No. Those little round pen turnout things aren't safe for them to run and play in. So you need to figure out a way that works for the horses that they can get a little bit, and like you said, express themselves. That's key. But I don't use it as, okay, so-and-so has too much energy. Let's put them on the end of a lunge line and let them trot for 45 minutes or an hour or whatever it is until they can hang their head down, because all you're doing is making the horse tired and more fit. And then you have to lunge them longer and lunge them longer and lunge them longer.
Yep.
And I think it's one of those never-ending spirals, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where do you attach your lunge line?
Onto the horse.
Whom are you asking? On the horse. Good one, Patty.
Well, remember when lunging cavesons were the rage?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah. I always do mine like through the bit and over the top of
over the pole.
Yeah. I never attach it directly to the bit.
I vary it. Sometimes I put it up over his pole. Sometimes I have one of those little, I guess they call them a lunging attachment. It's a little tiny curved strap like thing that has a snap on each end and a little ring that moves in the bottom.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I will sometimes use that.
Yeah.
I have to put something on the bit, though. I found out the hard way. Nigel came to me this way, that if you try to lunge him in something that's like a lunging caveson or a rope halter, it's just bye-bye. He goes out to the end of the lunge line going, oh, this is nice. See ya. Chink. And he just leaves. Just leaves, bucking and farting the whole way. It's like, oh, that's not going to work. So I do have to put it on the bit with him. Now, Scooter, I can lunge him in a piece of string around his neck, and he just go out to the end and go around in circles, which is weird because he's not obedient about anything else. But for some reason, when it comes to that, he's great. But yeah, I vary that a great deal according to the horse and the situation. There's so many horses that you could just put a snap on the ring on the halter on the side and send them out to the end, and they jog around and go, yeah, I got this. It so much depends on the horse. I guess you just have to be careful not to put it on one ring and slide the bit through their mouth, because that gets really ugly. Yeah.
I often want to, when I see, people just specifically at showgrounds, and they're just trying to wear their horse down, and it's clear, and the groom's out there and the horse is racing around 50 miles an hour. Do transitions, to engage the horse's brain.
Yeah, because you see that a lot. You see you send them out to the circle and you say trot, and then you just stand there.
And then they go. It's fun when
you see the person standing in the middle and they hold their hand above their head, and then text on their phone or go through Facebook, and the horse is going around with their hand above their head. Yeah, not productive.
No, and it can be really useful to ask them. I mean, if they're have some training in them to be able to, go forward and then come back and then walk and then canter and vary it so much that the horse is thinking, okay, what is she gonna ask me next?
Yeah.
Instead of
waiting,
just running around like an idiot. And I think that, when you watch some of those horses that are already tense, right? They got a lot of energy and they're running around in a circle. They're unbalanced. I mean, I just can hear the joints and connective tissue go, ow!
Yeah, you just want to, exactly.
And lots of changes of direction.
Yeah, and changes within the gait. Yeah.
Now, Patty, do you ever long line them, or you just pretty much stick with the one line? You do long line? I love that more. If I've got the time to get to do it, I love long lining because you can do all kinds of fun stuff with them.
And the people
Yeah,
who are
it's like,
really,
I-
really
I-
good at it
Yeah.
they're unbelievable.
Yeah, I
I
love
mean, there's
introducing.
mastery in long lining for sure.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I am okay at it. I'm not great at it, but I like to introduce, Piaffe that way, but not making
Yep.
them think Piaffe.
Yeah.
It's a really nice way to do that. But it does take a decent amount of time, and that's the hard part. If you
Yes.
don't have help, you have to get a lot of horses worked. That's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. JJ
So-
Tate's husband, Richard,
Yes.
he's really a master at long lining.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of videos of him doing stuff.
Yeah,
He's really good.
He's
He does a lot
really
of
good.
double, long lining, lunging and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, really, really.
So yes, there is an art to lunging. So, use it as the great tool that it is,
Yeah.
and just be mindful of a horse running around a circle may not be the best for his body. And there are ways to get the energy out that employ the mind, engage
Exactly.
both parts of the horse, body and mind.
Hello,
Greetings.
Hi, Hedwig.
hello, hello. Did we all have beautiful Thanksgiving holidays?
Oh, I still have a
Did
turkey
it.
coma. How about you?
I didn't get even one piece of turkey.
Oh, that's so sad.
I
Oh,
know.
Hetty.
No turkey.
No turkey for Hedwig. Did you have anything special at all to eat on Turkey Day?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
but you know
boy.
something? Your beautiful figure is better for it.
Mhm.
The rest
let
of
me
us are
think
wearing,
If I
the
care.
rest of us are wearing stretchy pants right now.
Well, that's your own issue. I don't get fat.
That's true. You don't.
No, I never do.
You never do. Well, Hedwig, we have an important question. Obviously, since we're recording this podcast in December, a lot of us are thinking about the holidays.
Yeah.
And we want to know, Hedwig, because we know that you have very strong opinions about what you like and don't like. What are
Yes.
what are your favorite holiday decorations around the home to destroy?
I don't destroy things. I would never destroy something. What sort of monster do you take me for?
Okay, what holiday decorations do you enjoy having around you?
Well, we have a really nice tiny tree. It's a ceramic tree with little lights on. I like that one. We put it on the mantle, and the lights are colored lights, pretty. And at night, when we're grading or depressed, we like to just look at the lights in the dark.
Don't go into the light. Don't.
Yes.
No, not that kind of light, Tigger. Gosh. It's not like the divine light. It's just light, little colored lights on a tree. Have you not had Christmas before? Maybe you know how this works? I don't know.
Does your servant put up any wreaths or boughs or mistletoe?
No, we have cats. We
Oh.
we sometimes put a wreath on the door, but then it gets blown into by the other door, so that doesn't go that well. In the barn, where nicer things happen because we, are heathens, there are stockings on the stalls, and we have little stockings for little dogs.
Oh.
Those go above the wood stove. It's like a fireplace, but bigger and hotter, and made
So-
of not fireplace.
So, are there goodies in those stockings on Christmas Day?
Yes.
Oh, so it's not just for decoration.
No. Santa comes. Santa comes extra for rescue dogs, and because it's a new rescue dog year, I think we're all going to win.
There we go.
The staff's birthday, and the grandmother human sent extra cookies.
Extra cookies.
Oh,
For us,
boy.
not for the servant who's a chunker, but it was for us. Cookies, not for the human. Yeah, not for her. No, for us.
Well, I'm glad you're getting some holiday cookies and a little extra love this year, Hedwig, because goodness knows you need it. It's 2020.
Yeah.
I totally do.
Yeah.
Everything is pretty horrible. So I think it's pretty important that I get nice things.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
Well, thank you, Hedwig.
Well, thanks, Patty.
Have a lovely week, everyone. I'm sorry about your obesity, but I'm sure it will go away in time.
I'm sure it will.
Thanks, Hetty.
Or not.
Bye-bye.
So we're at the Petapedia section of our show, and I thought that it was a great discussion about considering rescuing or adopting a pet. This time of year, the shelters and rescue become quite full because a lot of people, unfortunately, try to make way for new pets that people get during the holidays. And this is one of my number one pet peeves. Not that I don't think getting an animal at a holiday is a bad thing. It's just, it's something to take for serious consideration because, you know, animals are a long time and long-term project, and you're making, I shouldn't say project, a part of your family. So I just thought this was I've been talking to Tigger about this for a while, about doing something on this. And I really found out some really interesting stuff. I used to do a lot of fostering and then placing dogs, mainly dogs. And of course you can consider any type of a pet, whether it's a cat or a dog. And I found it was so rewarding looking at the people and being able to talk to them, of knowing the animal and letting, you know, somebody take on something that I had actually had in my home as a foster dog. And there's also, of course, considering a shelter. But first and foremost, the reason that you would consider and want to consider doing this is that, you know, you are most likely going to be saving a life considering where you're getting it from. There are tons of no-kill shelters. However, you know, when pets don't get adopted out, they stay filled, and that becomes an issue. There's also rescue groups which take them on as fosters, which I've done before, which I just mentioned, and both are great options. There's tons of benefits to considering either one. A shelter is going to probably be a little less of a big deal. If you go into a shelter, you're going to see a lot of animals in one place. They'll have a little bit of background on them. A lot of times, not many, or not a lot of information, but some shelters will do a little temperament testing to give you an idea of what kind of animal or what kind of dog or that you'd be dealing with. Rescue groups are a little harder to get the animal, I shouldn't say quicker, I don't mean it like that, but they tend to be a little bit more stringent. You have to fill out an application. There's many visits that you do, which is, by the way, a great thing. In shelters, the one thing that you have to really consider is you're in a loud place with all other dogs barking. And so a lot of times you're not going to see the real dog. I mean, you'll if the dog's, it may not be as relaxed as it would in your own home. And so interestingly enough, there are a bunch of YouTube videos out there on how to choose a pet or, a dog in a, in that kind of environment, which I thought was really cool. I had no idea that was out there, and they can help you behaviorally, how to figure out what is, the best options for you by looking at certain animals. There's something else called the Shelter Pet Project. Again, didn't know about that. It's a super cool thing. You can look it up online. And what they do is you just put in some of your information, what you're looking for, and then they can direct you to certain shelters to get you lined up with a couple pets to look at and adopt, which I think is a great thing to do. So as far as going with a rescue group, again, a lot of rescue groups, if you're looking to get a purebred dog, for instance, like an Australian Shepherd, which Tigger and I have many of, you can actually get a little bit more information about the dog specifically that you may be looking at, that because it's going to have been in somebody's home. So that's the advantage of it. The disadvantage is, like I mentioned before, is that they are, and this is a great thing, and I shouldn't call it a disadvantage, is that they're going to be really strict on where that dog goes. And so they'll do a couple of visits. A lot of times that will require that you have a fenced-in yard and ask you a bunch of questions. And so I have actually known a vet friend of mine who is a equine vet, and they live on a farm, and they were denied several times going through a rescue organization. So there can be some downfalls to that. But I think all in all, the biggest thing is whatever you decide to do, whether you decide to go with adopt through a shelter or a rescue, or even if you decide to get a dog or a cat, you just always want to investigate as much as you can about specific breeds, crosses of breeds, if you can find out what it is. But just really make sure you understand it's a long-term commitment. And there's so many wonderful positive things about going about getting an animal this way. But investigation and education is always the best thing. And it ends up just being a wonderful part of your family.
There you go.
Yeah.
So now we're at Critter Nutrition, and I'm going to read some excerpts from a book called The Stable Book, Management of Horses. It's written by John Stewart, who is a veterinary surgeon, published in 1856. And he's from Scotland, so this is the English version of horse management. The book covers lots of things like stabling and bloodletting and all sorts of things. But I found the food section to be fascinating. So I'm going to share with you some excerpts from the Stable Book. This is the 5th chapter, and it's called Food. In this country, horses are fed upon oats, hay, grass, and roots. But in other parts of the world, where the productions of the soil are different, the food of the horse is different. In some sterile countries, therefore,
There weren't any of those.
they are forced to subsist on dried fish and even on vegetable mold. In Arabia, on milk, flesh balls, eggs, broth, etc. In India, horses are variously fed. In Bengal, on the western side of India, a sort of pigeon pea, an ordinary food with grass while in season and hay all the year round. Indian corn or rice is seldom given. In the West Indies, maize, guinea corn, sugarcane tops, and sometimes molasses are given. In France, Spain, and Italy, besides the grasses, the leaves of limes, vines, the tops of acacia, and the seeds of the carob tree are given to horses. In the United States, many different kinds of natural and cultivated grasses, green or dried as hay, are used in feeding horses. Also, Indian, Egyptian, and broom corn, their blades and stalk, sugar and wild cane tops, and molasses drippings, rice, wheat, and other straw of different kinds, and their grain and bran, beans, peas, and their pods and vines, artichoke and potato tops and their roots, together with many other vegetables, pumpkins, squash, and other vine fruit, flax and flaxseed, sunflower seed, acorns and other nuts, the twigs, buds, and leaves of trees, apples, and other fruit, and cabbage.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So now he's into this. This is another chapter, and he calls it stable economy. A shilling's worth of oats is a great deal more nourishing than a shilling's worth of bran.
Well, yeah, there we go.
Wheaten bread, either brown or white, is much relished by nearly all horses. Occasionally, it may be given to a horse that has been tired off his appetite or to an invalid. It should never be less than 24 hours old, and it should be given only in small quantity. Bakers sometimes give their horses a good deal of it, but it ought to be mixed with chaff. Some will not eat it till it is mashed by pouring boiling water over it. In Holland and many parts of Germany and Norway, buckwheat is made into a black bread, which then the horses are fed. Maize or Indian corn is much used as a horse food in Americas and in various parts of Europe. Probably it ought to be boiled and mixed with chaff, but horses eat it greedily when raw. Bracy Clark says it is apt to clog the stomach and affect the feet in such a singular way that the hooves frequently fall off when the horse is on a journey. Wow. He alludes to founder, but seems ignorant that any kind of grain, when improperly given, will produce the same effect. Maize does it more readily, perhaps on account of its greater amount of carbon or the fat-forming principle.
Well, he's partway there. You know, it was 1850. Right.
Yep. Rye is used in Germany, but generally in the shape of bread made from the whole wheat flour and bran. And it is not unusual in traveling through some parts of that country and of Holland to see horses help themselves from the same loaf. I mean, you know, this stuff is so great. Okay. So on beans, he says, there are several varieties of the beans in use as horse food, but I do not know that one is better than another. On fruit, as pumpkins, apples, etc., and sweet potatoes in America, figs and chestnut in Spain and Italy, apples in some parts of France, and numerous other fructified exotics are occasionally employed as food for horses. The people of Medjid, that's got to be Arabia, feed their horses regularly on dates. Barley, however, is the most usual food in all parts of Arabia. In Iceland, it is stated by Buffon that dried fish is made the food of horses, and my friend William Bullock, Sr., lately informed me that he saw the same practice in Norway. Eggs are sometimes given to stallions in the traveling season for exciting desire and to other horses for producing a smooth coat. The egg is chipped, as they call it, and given raw like a ball. Several and many horses have been lost by the egg sticking in its throat and producing suffocation. God.
What the?
If eggs must be given, let them be broken and mixed with a mash or boiled hard and added to the grain.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the section, I'm moving to another section, about how much you feed a horse. You guys aren't going to believe this. Mr. Harper of Bank Hill, Lancaster, plows 7 acres per week the year through on strong land with 3 horses, each of which receive 2 bushels of oats per week with hay during the winter 6 months, and during the remainder of the year, 1 bushel of oats with green food. In the Quarterly Journal of Agriculture, number 21, the following mixture, in which there is no hay, is recommended for its economy. The horse is fed thrice, receiving at each time 15 pounds.
What?
Yes. It's 3 pounds of oats and bean meal mixed with 1.5 pounds of cut straw, 3 pounds of oats and bean meal. Oh, sorry. That's in the morning. He gets 3 pounds of oats and bean meal mixed with 1.5 pounds. Or is that 11? Oh, it's 11 pounds cut straw. At midday, it's 3 pounds of oats and bean meal with 12 pounds of cut straw. And 11 pounds. Oh, at night, it's 11 pounds oats and beans, 2 pounds cut straw, and 11 pounds of steamed potatoes. The best food for ordinary working horses in America is as much good hay or grass as they will eat, corn stalks or blades, or for the want of these, straw and a mixture of from 16 to 24 quarts per day of about half and half of oats and the better quality of wheat bran. When the horse is 7 years old past, 2 to 4 quarts of corn or hominy or meal ground from the corn and cob is preferable to the pure grain. 2 to 4 quarts of wheat, barley, rye, buckwheat, peas, or corn. A pint of oil meal. A pint. A gill of flaxseed mixed with a healthy with other food is very good for a relish, especially in keeping up a healthy system and the bowels open.
I'd say.
And giving the hair a fine glossy appearance.
Wow.
Corn is fed too much at the South and the West. It makes horses fat, but cannot give them that hard, muscular flesh which oats do. Hence their softness and want of endurance in general work and on the road, in comparison with northern and eastern horses reared and fed on oats and more nutritious grasses. Potatoes and other roots, unless cooked, do not seem to be of much benefit in this climate, especially in winter. They lie cold upon the stomach and subject the horse to scouring. Besides, they are too watery for a hard-working animal.
I can't imagine any of my horses eating a potato. But I've never tried. I'll have to give it a try sometime. See what happens.
Cart horses. So he has specific diets for each kind of horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cart horse. The cart horse employed about towns are fed on oats, beans, bran, and hay. Meal seeds, barley, and corn dusts, hay seeds, and roots are also in common use. In winter, one feed is generally boiled and given the last at night. The quantity of fodder is seldom limited. The horse eats as much as he pleases or as much as his owner can afford. It will probably vary from 15 to 30 pounds in the 24 hours. The quantity of grain varies from 12 to 16 pounds. The oats and beans are seldom bruised.
See, that's interesting to me because 1850, the amount of forage the horses are given is much higher than it would have been in the 70s or 80s for a horse of similar work. We really, a lot of people, their horse gets 12 pounds of hay a day and that's it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Finding this fascinating.
So, I know.
Yeah.
So carriage horse and street coach horses, all these, with few exceptions, have for many years been fed the same way and upon the same articles as at present. In general, they receive 3 or 4 feeds per day, consisting of oats and beans, unbroken and uncooked. The quantity varies from 12 to 16 pounds, and the fodder, of which hay is the only kind, is rarely limited. Male stage and fast boat horses. Many of these horses are fed in the old way. In winter, they receive oats, beans, bran, and hay. In summer, oats, beans, hay, and grass, all given without preparation, only 3 times a day. But a new mode has been adopted by the owners of nearly all of the large studs. The food consists of more articles. It is often prepared with a degree of care that in the good old times would have been deemed preposterously troublesome. The horses are fed oftener, and articles are used in which many still deem unfit for horses and even poisonous. The ordinary feeding consists of oats, beans, and hay, but barley is often given both raw and boiled. Every horse receives about 6 or 7 pounds of rack hay at night. There are 5 feeding hours. The first at 6, the others at 9, 1, 5, and 8. At each time, the horse receives 1/2 peck of a mixture, which usually contains 5 bushels of oats, 1 of bean, and 6 of chaff. In winter, the horses get boiled food every night. It is composed of barley and beans, to which few turnips are sometimes added. Carrots are given raw during the day, but when considerably dearer than turnips, turnips supply their place. Turnips. Who knew?
Turnips. Well, and who knew that the grain-dense diet went back that far?
Well,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know, it's from the sound of that, it sounds like it was just becoming popular at that point. But if you ask me, well, when did this whole feed the horse enormous amounts of concentrates thing start? I would have not said the 1800s. That's interesting.
Now, cavalry horses used to be fed on barley and hay. At present, they get 10 pounds of oats and 12 of hay. They are fed thrice. In the morning, they get 3 pounds, at midday 4, and at night 3. For 6 or 7 weeks in summer, they get cut grass. They have no beans, no boiled food, no chaff. The oats are not bruised. Once a week, a bran mash is given at night instead of oats. Sick horses get bran mashes, boiled oats, raw potatoes, and hay or grass. Each horse is allowed 8 pounds of straw every day for litter.
8 pounds? That's like a quarter. That's like 4 flakes of straw. Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's so that's just, I mean, this book is 400 pages long, so
A fascinating look at
it
how some things have changed a lot. Some things have come full circle. Some things haven't changed at all. That's interesting stuff.
One of the things that really strikes me is the idea of feeding many times a day.
Mm-hmm.
And he specified 6 a.m. and then 9 and we've really gotten away from that.
Yeah.
I mean, most horses get fed twice a day.
Yeah.
Some get fed 3 times a day. A smaller group get fed 4 times a day. But really, they do need to be fed. I mean, these horses are not on pasture. These horses are working.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And thus you see the old pictures of them standing along the street with a feed bag around their head.
Yeah.
Because they needed to be fed and they weren't going back to the barn to do it. They just hang the bag on their head and give them some chow.
Yeah.
Pretty
interesting.
cool.
So
Very
you
cool.
can get this book on Amazon. Obviously, it's reprinted.
Used. Yeah.
And it's called The Stable Book by John Stewart.
Real horses and real dogs are healthier, perform better, and recover more quickly on real food. That's why BioStar empowers horse and canine owners with 100% whole food nutrition, supplements, and feeding programs. BioStar products are made at their own certified non-GMO facility in Gordonsville, Virginia, using real food ingredients that are raw, freeze-dried, or dehydrated, never cooked, and are free from artificial flavors, colors, soy, corn, wheat, and molasses. The BioStar product line includes a wide range of whole food, horse and dog supplements, treats, and unique artisan poultices that embrace the ancient and traditional uses of clay and plants. Visit biostarus.com today and learn about whole foods and canine and equine nutrition so you can make the best decisions about the care and health of your horses and dogs. That's biostarus.com. Whole food nutrition the way nature intended.
And here we are. We've arrived at Coffee Klatch. And I get to ask the question today. And since today's show has sort of a holiday bent to it, I want to know, what holiday film is your dog, cat, or horse's favorite and why? I'm going to start with Tigger because Patty's going to want longer to think about this because I know Patty.
And that was a present in itself.
So pick one of your fur babies, Tigger, and tell us what that fur baby's favorite film is and why.
Oh my God. I don't think any of my dogs are interested in Christmas movies.
I already have an answer.
Well, then we're going to go to Patty and let Tigger think.
Okay. Burke would totally be The Christmas Story.
Now tell everybody who Burke is if they're not regular listeners.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I was like, and there's dead air. Burke is my first Australian Shepherd who is just, he reminds me, I can't remember the kid's name. Oh, who wanted the gun
Ralph?
in the movie.
Ralphie?
Yeah, Ralph. Yeah. Yeah. Burke, he's a little Ralph-esque. He's super cute, but a little dorky.
Mm-hmm.
And he relates to that. And he wants, I just know he would, but he wouldn't shoot his eyes. I just want you to know that. But, that's one of that. Yeah. Okay, Tigger, that should help you.
Oh, so it's a movie that reflects the personality of the dog.
Sure.
How about we do this? How about we name a Christmas movie and you say which dog would like
Well,
it?
she does have an assortment. Go for it. I like that idea, Patty. Go for one.
Okay. Miracle on 34th Street.
Nobody.
What about Sabi?
Nope.
Okay. The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Crockett.
No, which one's
Okay,
Crockett?
Okay.
Tell everybody who Crockett is.
Crockett is an Australian Shepherd.
And where does he fall in the pack? Is he the?
He's the the alpha.
There you go. He's the alpha male. Okay. How about the Nutcracker? That's a Christmas story.
Yeah, no. Nobody fits
nobody
that.
likes the Nutcracker. Okay, nobody likes the classicals. Okay.
What about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
No.
Boy, we're striking out here.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Jennifer. I know you can save us here. Think of something good.
Okay, I'm going to save you. Who likes the Grinch Who Stole? No, we already did the Grinch. Who likes Charles Dickens?
One of my favorites.
Who likes it?
Oh, I love it. Guys, what do you think?
Well, if Mom's laying down and I can sit on her lap on the couch, we like it too. So all of them. I'm going to say all of them.
I would say that Wookiee would Scrooged the modern version.
Oh,
would
he
be
likes the one with the Scrooge one. That was excellent.
Yeah.
There you
Because
go.
she likes humor.
Yeah.
I think Thunder Bear would be much more classical.
So your different dogs would like different versions of the Scrooge story.
Yes.
Who would like the Muppet version?
I've never seen it.
Blasphemy.
I can't believe I didn't even know it existed.
It's the best version ever made.
Oh my God, I've got to watch it.
Yeah.
The Muppet Christmas Carol. Yeah, it's a bummer though, because unless you have the DVD of it, they took out one of the songs, so the one you watch on TV is missing one of its songs.
Oh,
and I feel shortchanged each time I watch it.
Wow.
Yeah, because the executives after the movie aired for the first time decided the song was too sad, so they took it out.
Oh God.
Yep.
So typical.
So typical. There we go.
So what would your dog, what do you think she's going to like in terms of
Pickles? Oh, this was so easy. This was so easy. Pickles,
Okay.
the 18-month-old greyhound, would like every single movie on the Hallmark Channel. It's the only channel she watches.
Is that because she likes to lay on the couch and just watch movies, or?
She's just the quintessential girly girl. Life is drama. Oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. Oh, I love him. Oh, he's run away. Oh, I love him again. Oh, yeah. Her whole life is a Hallmark movie. Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay, that's hysterical.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm going to cry. I mean, I'm laughing so hard.
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
Oh my God, I don't have any dog like that.
Yeah. She reads Teen Beat magazine.
Or Tiger Beat.
Tiger Beat, yeah.
Okay.
That's her.
What does she want for Christmas?
Pickles wants, Pickles wants someone to love her for Christmas.
Oh, that's pathetic.
Because every time I leave the house to feed the horses, nobody loves me.
That when she went after the blinds.
Well, we were gone for several hours today, both of us. And we did our best to create a physical barrier. Oh, I just noticed the chew marks there. Oh, that's interesting. A physical barrier between...
I said we did our best.
Yeah, the window blinds and the dog. But the barrier was insufficient for her level of, the world hates me.
You don't think that she was trying to see you? Get to the blinds to see you?
Oh, well, yeah. What she tries to do, she gets to the blinds in the front of the house because that's the door we go out through. And she can't see through the door because the window's too high. Thank gosh, we should probably break it. So she just wants to get under there so she can push it open and look through. But then she doesn't. She gets her head stuck in it, and does silly dog things. But all she did was break and tear up the blind. She didn't take my office apart and send the...
That's a good thing.
The computer monitors flying. And
well,
things.
Maybe she needs a boyfriend like on a Hallmark channel.
Oh, I'm sure her life is a Hallmark movie. I'm telling you.
But maybe she needs a companion.
Yeah. She has a box full of companions, and she has a dinosaur and a pickle and a rope and a stuffy.
Another dog, a cat, a ferret.
No.
Oh, come on. A llama.
Llama. There we go. Maybe she can have a llama. I want to get her a push me, pull you.
Llama specialist could be you.
There we go. So that's it. That was the question of the day. If your furry friends or, scaly friends, leathery friends, feathered friends, if your non-human members of the family have films that they prefer to watch, or maybe that they fit a character in those movies, we would love to hear about it at Healthy Critters Radio. And you can do that by going over to Healthy Critters Radio on Facebook and and following the page and put a post over there, maybe a picture. We'd love to hear from you. Or you can send a postcard to Tigger. Send Tigger a Christmas card because the holidays are stressful.
Because Tigger is also in a Hallmark movie.
Tigger lives a Hallmark movie, and she could really use a little love from the listeners. So where would they send that Christmas card, Tigger?
To 1 Cleveland Street, Suite 800, Gordonsville, Virginia, 22942.
Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks to our sponsor, BioStar US. You can find them online at biostarus.com.
Get the Horse Radio Network phone app on iOS or Android by searching for Horse Radio Network in the App Store. It's free and easy to use.
For details about today's show, go to healthycrittersradio.com, where you can find links, photos, and more information about our guests.
As always, we love your feedback. Please follow us on Facebook under Healthy Critters Radio.
Be sure to visit all the great shows on Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com.
Love your dog.
Hug your horse.
Feed your chickens.
Clean your litter box.
Dance with your goat.
Slither with your snakes.
Howl at the moon.
Hang with your hamster.
Party with your parrot.
Waddle with your walrus.
Outwit your otter.
Cuddle your cows.
Rap with your raptor.
Go chipping with your chipmunks.
Forgive your fox.
While hedging your hog.
We also recommend that you rack with your raccoon.
Gyrate with your giraffe.
Meditate with a meerkat.
Uber with your orangutan.
Facebook with your flamingo.
Ponder with your panda.
Walk with your Wookiee.
Yawn with your yak.
Twitter with your toucan.
Go raining with your reindeer.
Dropbox your dragon.